And so I never thought I was going to be in private practice, to be honest. I thought I was going to be working in agency type settings. But once I found that job, I wound up loving it so much. And at that point, there was just no turning back.
On today's episode of the Telehealth Heroes podcast, our guest, Dr. Marie Fang, is a practicing clinical psychologist based in San Jose, California, who also runs her own YouTube channel that teaches other mental health care providers how to start their own practice. Dr. Fang, welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So that's very interesting. So you didn't anticipate going to private practice. You wanted to go into agency. What made you want to do that or think you wanted to do that?
Yeah. I had this mindset, which I think a lot of us have in healthcare, and I know therapists, a lot of us therapists have this mindset too, of this idea that I wasn't really helping people if I went into private practice, because people who are seeing a therapist in private practice, especially if they're cash pay, they are resourced enough to afford that kind of help. And I really wanted to work with people who maybe didn't have those kinds of resources. And of course, now I have a perspective where there's value in all of these things. But I was very allergic, I was very judgmental of people who had cash pay practices or were in private practice in general. I thought, why wouldn't you work for an agency? There's maybe more to be said there, but that was kind of the allergy I had to private practice. I thought, I'm gonna help people in an agency setting. So
and so you got into that and you started working at, what made that perception change?
Yeah, well, even in some of the settings that I worked, both as a grad student and then post-grad, because I worked in a couple of different places for a bit, I started to sort of see some of the murky underbelly of some agency settings. So I don't want anyone to hear this as bashing, but the system is set up so that you have to be as productive as you possibly can for sometimes really little pay. And so it can create a setup that, at least for me, I found I can't sustain. I'm not able to see 25 or 30 clients a week and stay healthy, and it kind of cycles back on itself. I can't be a great therapist anymore. So I kind of saw that and learned that, at least about myself, I can't sustain that. And so if I move to private practice, I can actually see a number of clients that I can sustain and earn an income that's reasonable, and I can therefore be a good therapist to the people that I am seeing.
Gotcha.
So
and it's more of a pace that you control.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. That's very valuable to me as well.
So what were some of the things that you had to learn? I mean, they don't always teach you everything about how to run a private practice, but you kind of have to learn it the hard way. So talk about some of the things you learned as you got into private practice.
Oh, I didn't know anything. So I learned everything the hard way. Just like you said, I did all the wrong things. I mean, there's something to be said about all the logistical stuff. You just don't know about the legal things, and you're learning about I guess there's this thing called a city business license that apparently you're supposed to get at it. Just every little detail. How do I make sure my email is HIPAA secure? And everything was just unknown. And also you don't know what you don't know. So then you might be doing things wrong and you didn't know. Then you find out because, you're in consultation or something, and it kind of pops up oh no, I got to go fix that. And that's kind of how you learn. Yeah, and that's how a lot of my friends would learn too. And then there's the other layer of how do you get clients when you're in private practice? And I never thought about that. I just thought I don't know, you just put yourself out there on the internet. I sent out snail mailers, which is in 2012 in San Francisco. So, technology was there, and I just didn't know. And I took forever to fill my practice. And that's really unfortunate that I didn't understand that there are tools that you can use, one, to make sure that your practice is following all proper rules and is kind of legally up to par, and to, fill your practice with clients that you really like to work with, who really like to work with you as well. Right. So all of that was just totally unknown to me. I just dove into the deep end. I had no idea what I was getting into.
And I mean, you're not alone. I think every provider, psychologist that graduates, these are the things that they don't teach in school. And how long did it take you to really kind of feel like you got it figured out?
I mean, do you ever feel like you get it figured out? This is full disclosure. Like sometimes people refer to me as an expert and I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I'm not an expert. I look up the information and I synthesize it in a video, and then like a year passes and I'll be doing something in my practice, think, I don't remember anymore how I'm supposed to do this thing. I think I made a video about it. I need to go back and watch it, because I still don't feel like I need to always constantly be kind of on top of learning and asking new questions and going back and revisiting things maybe I even made already to remind myself. There's that piece, but I do have a confidence now of like, even if I don't know the answer to a question, I can go find the answer.
Right.
And I think there's something really empowering about saying, okay, there's permission to not know all the things, but to see the importance of go and figure out the answer. The answer is out there, rather than just kind of like fumbling through. I think that was the thing I felt like I was supposed to already know, and so I didn't like ask questions, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So what led you to, you've gone and you've figured this all out, and then somewhere along the line you decided to start making videos of yourself and learning and putting it out there to help others. What led to that?
Yeah, this has kind of been a theme in my life in general, that like when I want to learn something for myself, if I have a little bit of trouble finding the information, apparently I make a YouTube channel about it. So this is actually my third YouTube channel. Yeah, some of them I've kind of like privatized, but this is my third iteration of trying a YouTube channel. And I don't know why that's a theme, but there it is. It's there. And so what was happening is, and there's so many amazing resources at this point, but when I was getting started in private practice, it was hard to find information on, what's the checklist? Like, what are the steps you're supposed to do to just start? Or what are the techniques you use to help clients find you? And I would get so frustrated. And I started to learn them a bit myself. And I felt like, okay, I think I can just synthesize this and tell people what I did, right? And if you want to do it, here you go. This is how I did it. Maybe here's a couple other ways you could go about it if you want some options. And I would have really liked to have that. So I'll put it out there just in case it's helpful for other people. So that's really kind of where it was birthed from. And enough of a sense, because this was my third YouTube channel, it's like, okay, I know how to turn on a camera and put the video together well enough that like, hopefully it makes sense by the time I post it. So that's kind of the story of it, the summary of it.
So this one, I'm calling this one successful. And what makes this one so much more successful? How'd you hit the home run in this one versus the other ones? What'd you do different this time?
Yeah. Oh, the golden ticket question. Yeah. I think there's probably a long list of things, but if I could name the most important items, one is just sticking to a niche. And by that meaning, like, it's not just that I'm talking to therapists, or it's certainly not just, I'm just talking about whatever I feel like today. Today it's what I'm cooking, and the other day I'm just going to talk about my dog, right? It's okay. I'm really honing in on like, what are the problems a therapist faces when they're either starting private practice or, they're stuck there. They have questions about kind of building their private practice, and anything that I'm making is tied to that, especially at the beginning, because you're also kind of gaming the YouTube algorithm. Like the YouTube algorithm needs to know who I am and who I'm speaking to. And then once you have enough of a following, you can kind of branch out a little bit. But that was one key item. And then the other key item that I really can't emphasize enough is that I just had to accept that I needed to be myself fully in whatever content I'm putting out there if I want people to find it helpful. Because one thing to check the boxes and say, okay, I named the items that you need maybe for whatever question I might be answering. But also this, like, here's me, this is my, here's how I approach life, or here's the things that I care about, or, and I think those are the things that really make people want to kind of come back and watch another video, which if you're wanting to have success, I think on a YouTube channel, you're kind of looking for people who see it as, it's a weekly, it's like watching a show on TV or on a streaming service. Like, okay, here's the next one. I want to watch it and see what Marie's talking about. So I think that letting my real personality come through and not trying to make it, make myself into somebody else has been really key as well.
Yeah. And how do you pick topics that you talk about on the show?
Yeah, I mean, to begin with, I had no audience. Obviously, no one was watching me. So, to begin with, I just made a list of like what were all the things that I was stuck on and am still stuck on, and genuinely just sitting down for like 30 minutes, I made a list of 50 questions. So I thought, okay, well, if I just film one video a week, that's 1 year of videos. I'll just answer each question in a video. And then if after a year no one's really watching, then maybe I'll shut the thing down. So that's kind of the approach that I took. But by the time I got to a year out, yeah, I'm just going to do it. So I just started by basically making a channel that I would have wanted and answering those questions. And then after a year, I'd had like 1,000 subscribers and, people are engaging with the content. And, I was starting to have avenues where I was generating revenue from it. Right. And so at that point, it's just, I can see what other people are asking about. And that is just a continuous stream of new content, where if people are asking questions, that tells me they want the answer. Sometimes I don't know the answer, but I can go find it, or I can have somebody come on and talk about it. And that kind of keeps the flow going. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're creating these videos, and then this little thing called COVID comes along, and you're like, crap, I'm in private practice. Now, did you do telemedicine before COVID?
I dabbled. I like to say I dabbled. I won't lie. I love seeing clients in person. Yeah. And so that's always, and yet I have yet to see a client in person since COVID started. So there's that too.
And so you were right in the same boat as 90% of all the other providers in the country. Like, crap, I got to figure out telemedicine now. And then, so you were literally figuring it out as you were doing the video of yourself doing it. Yes. So you were really resonating with the people at that time. And go through that experience of what you went through and how you found Doxy.me and what the process was like. And then what was the response that you got from others who were going through the same thing you went through?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, honestly, so much of it is a blur now. And this is, my story is so many people's stories in this case. Though maybe I'll say I live in Santa Clara County, which was one of the first counties to shut down. Wow. And so I think that's also a factor here where I'm kind of getting on this. Maybe it's 3 days before everybody else, or a week before some folks, but it was kind of like right at the beginning there. And the way it happened that I filmed this video about Doxy.me was I think I was already planning on doing like a day in the life video or something like that, like just kind of a vlog type of video, which was sort of a new thing I was dabbling in. And part of that was I had childcare where I would, drop off my kid at daycare and I would go to the office, and I was going to just kind of do a vlog, and it turned out everything shut down. So the same day that I was going to do that video, it's like, okay, I had a housemate cover for me so I could just go in and out and see my clients while she's watching my kid, because she's also, she's working. We're like kind of just trying to make it work. And I go, I have to see my clients somehow. I can't tell you at this point. I cannot remember how I heard about Doxy.me, but I can say I know a lot of other folks in my circles were also using Doxy.me. Yeah. So it was probably just a colleague like us all freaking out saying, what are you guys doing? And so, and one thing that was really important to me that I, in addition to it being HIPAA compliant, HIPAA secure, obviously, was I wanted something that my clients could just like, here's a waiting room link. It's HIPAA secure. Click the button, you're in. And because I need it now, like yesterday. Yeah. So that was something that just made Doxy.me really appealing, especially in that context where it's like, I don't have any runway to prepare. Yeah. So I thought, well, I don't know if it's going to be any good. I'll just film this. I don't even know if I'm going to post this video. Like, that's kind of where I was like, I'm just going to film what I'm doing because this is all I got.
and so you're literally like going on and using it the first time as you're talking through it. This is like the first time you're going through it.
It's legitimately like it's not like staged, or it's like, okay, I got my roommate watching my, whenever my baby was maybe 8 months old or something at that time, 7 months. And so I'm in and out, like I'm going to go see my clients and go home, and I'll just film this and maybe I can edit it, at nighttime, which is what I did. And I went in fully thinking like, this is just going to be a total like crapshoot. I'm just going to film this thing and I'll put it together and I might just not even post. So then when I posted it, and I still felt that's the world of making content. I still felt that way when I posted it. I'll just put it out there. And then it just people started watching it, people were leaving comments, it's so helpful and all those things. And then it got to the point where like colleagues of mine would be like, I found your video online because I didn't know you were making YouTube videos.
Oh, really?
So yeah, really just, that was just surprised in that sense. I wasn't strategizing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's just right place, right time. Other people were in the same position as me and it resonated.
Yeah. And like poof, it just shoots up to the #1 video. And even like videos that we created, yours was outperforming our own videos that we were creating. But it shows because I mean, you're authentic. And that's something you spoke to earlier about just being your true self. And, you know, you're speaking, you're going through yourself, you're resonating very well with everybody else at that time. And they're like, I need something, I don't know. And the things that you say you like about it is to say that others like about it. And they're like, oh yeah, this works well. So it was incredible to watch. And at that time it was crazy for us. And we're like, hey, you know, there's a video, a bunch of people come from this video. Okay, cool. You know, and so we were putting a bunch of videos out too at the same time. What a whirlwind time. So it's for me, it's fun because I remember seeing your video way back then and I'm like, this is cool. I got to reach out and thank this lady at some point. And so, so officially from me to you 2 years later, thank you for that video because it's helped a lot of people.
You.
And we've referred, like people are like, hey, how do I get this going? And we're just, go to YouTube go YouTube Doxy.me and watch the videos that are out there, and yours is #1. So it's just, it works really well. So final question, what is the next video you're going to create?
Oh, it's so funny. I'm filming today, and I was genuinely in a scenario this morning where I thought, oh, okay, do I want to do this video or this video? And that is just not my normal. So genuinely, after we hang up this call, I'm going to sift through my video ideas and finally decide which one I'm going to do. Typically, I have my videos planned out like 6 weeks out, and then I haven't had childcare because of the latest surge. And so I've just been one video at a time, like genuinely, like, I don't even know what I'm going to do today.
Yeah. Well,
so
from prior experience, they've turned out pretty good. So I would say keep going that way.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, well, Dr. Feng, thank you so much. It's been such a fun time chatting today, and I look forward to seeing more of your videos on your channel. And for those who are interested, we'll have a link at the bottom of this video to go to, to talk a little bit about your channel and give the audience an overview really quick.
Yeah, my channel, I mean, I can't believe it. It's been around for like 3.5 years or so now. Wow. So there's a lot of videos on there, but the general focus is for therapists who are interested in private practice or who are in private practice to help you with kind of like the tactical private practice type stuff. It's not like therapeutic techniques, for example. But then it just kind of branch out to other interests related to being a therapist as well. So lots of kind of tactical, practical advice, like how to get clients or how to make your email HIPAA secure and like all those types of things. So private practice skills, feel free to link it. And then, you know, I'm out there on the internet and other places, but I won't overload you.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, we'll include the link, Private Practice Skills YouTube channel. Huge fan. Go check out the Doxy video. We're a big fan of it as well. And Dr. Feng, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure.